with the township clerk. Can we have the roll call, please?
Councilman Bacco,
Here.
Councilwoman Isla,
Here.
Councilman Kirsch,
Here.
Councilman Ring,
Good evening. Here.
President Geiger.
Here. I think we all stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Next, we have the presentation of the minutes for the approval, and I believe the minutes for the December 17th, 2026 session are not ready yet? Okay.
Well, that would be the December 17th, 2025.
That's right.
If the 26 are ready, we have a problem.
That's right. That's right. So I think we need a motion to review them at the next meeting instead, no?
No, we just need to carry.
Okay, well, they will be carried. I think the same is true for the reorganization meeting minutes from January 5th, 2026, so they will also be carried.
That's correct.
Okay. So now we have the Township Council reports. I'm not sure what the order is. Who usually goes first? Do we
Whoever
go?
you asked to go first.
Oh, it's arbitrary. Well, I guess I'll start in alphabetical order. Andrew, Bucko?
Hi, good evening. Thank you, Madam President. My report is going to be fairly brief, considering only been in the officially in the position for 3 full days. I'll just say that I had the opportunity and the privilege to attend the township Christmas tree lighting and menorah lighting in December, and just like to thank the township employees and volunteers who put those events together and had them go off without a hitch. They should definitely be commended for the great work.
Okay, I think we're going to go in movement order. Councilman Kirsch, your report?
Yes, thank you. I'm not going to go back to the Wayback Machine of 25. I'm just going to acknowledge that since we last met, I attended on Tuesday evening, the 6th, both the ribbon cutting and the reorganization meeting in our neighboring borough of Raritan. Donald Tozzi was named the new mayor. The previous mayor, Cara, had resigned, and new Mayor Tozzi will serve at least the first year of the unexpired term. I did want to speak briefly about an issue that I know is important to all of us in the room, will certainly be an important theme for the year, and that is affordability. I find it interesting that affordability kind of became this buzzword. The now mayor of New York, he talked about it a great deal, and our governor-elect talked about it. My point of view is it's nothing new. Affordability has been a concern that we've had in Bridgewater on this dais. I know it's a concern that people have around their kitchen tables as they're discussing their own family's affairs. During the reorganization meeting, I spoke about finding the sweet spot between affordability and desirability. Potentially, desirability also includes or may have as a separate bucket smart development. And those are going to be certainly important things for this group to work through during this year. I also heard, at least once during the reorganization meeting, a comment to the effect a budget is a reflection of a community's values, and I agree with that 100%, mainly because I think I've spoken the same or very similar words at several times over the last 6 years. One thing to consider, though, is we are living in we have been living in a hyperinflationary time. Just a couple of quick stats. The 2021 inflation rate, this is national, 4.7%, 2022, 8.0, 2023, 4.1, 2024 still being finally calculable, which should be in the range of 3 to 3.2, and this year's is expected to be 2.7. The net of that is, when you add that up, that's nearly 25%, specifically 24.76% over the last 5 years. And we all feel that. We all feel that when we've tried to buy gas, groceries, automobiles, you name it. And the challenge that we have here is that, not only are we, personally feeling it, but then, we have the responsibility to deliver outstanding government that is consistent services, or consistent and reliable services, and keep it at a price tag that people can afford. Of course, energy costs, a major problem. We did have a circumstance, unfortunately, where our state government was derelict in their responsibility to provide long-term capacity, and that's the main reason why we've seen all at a personal level, that skip of your heartbeat when you open your electric bill. Unfortunately, governments do that too. We open our electric bill, the school district opens their electric bill. My final thought on this subject is we need to continue to make decisions where we can avoid being penny wise and pound foolish. We need to make sure that we are providing not only for our immediate needs, but also reasonable medium and long-term needs as well. And that's my report.
Thank you, Councilman Kirsch. Councilman Ring?
I'll be very brief. No report.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Councilman Isla?
Thank you, Council
Councilwoman
President.
Isla.
So on New Year's Eve, my family and I drove through a very interesting event. It was beautiful. It's called the Bridgewater Tree Balls and Luminaries. So it was located around 1632 South Brick Drive, and they actually collected food bank. They had a bin to collect all the perishable donations there, and the event ended yesterday. It was very beautiful, but feel free to donate to any food bank in the area as a continuation of the affordability crisis that people are feeling, our neighbors are feeling. And then on Tuesday of this week, Joan and I went over to Hillsborough for their reorg meeting, and they currently have 3 women on their committee, including electing a new female mayor. So congratulations to Hillsborough on this new milestone. That's all for me.
Thank you, Councilwoman. I believe I have no report other than to say I'm thrilled to be here and thank you to all the people that have showed up today. Now it's time for the mayor's report. Mayor Mensch?
Thank you. Good evening. I have no report this evening other than the proclamation, which is item 7, so I can read that now if you like, Council President.
Sure.
Just for some very brief background for the council, I think many of you may notice from some of the other meetings or from the public, one of the issues at the end of the year that we passed was an ordinance that was helping to strengthen the enforcement abilities for some of the various massage parlors to make sure that all the massage parlors in town are operating appropriately within the bounds of the laws and not providing extra services that are not permitted by law. And one of the things that in looking and learning about this issue is that a lot of human trafficking folks are forced to work in facilities that don't provide legal services, and it's massage parlors. It's also a lot of hair and nail salons have a lot of human trafficking that goes through them, and it's an issue not just for the workers that are in the places that operate illegally, but those places also attract people to Bridgewater or a town that would have a facility that's operating appropriately, which puts our residents at risk. And we've seen that happen to a resident here in Bridgewater who was attacked by somebody who was trying to go to a place that we don't believe operates legally. So it's an important issue for all communities, including ours. And so it happens to be that January is Human Trafficking Awareness Month, so we have a proclamation for it. Whereas human trafficking is a grave injustice that strips people of their freedom, dignity, and safety, it exploits individuals through force, fraud, or coercion, and it affects people of all ages and backgrounds. Whereas while it is often thought of as something that happens elsewhere, the truth is that human trafficking can occur in any community, including communities like Bridgewater. It is frequently hidden, making awareness and education especially important. Whereas preventing human trafficking begins with understanding the warning signs, encouraging responsible reporting, and ensuring that victims and survivors are met with compassion, respect, and access to support. Communities like Bridgewater play a vital role in creating an environment where exploitation is recognized, addressed, and never ignored. Whereas each January, Human Trafficking Awareness Month reminds us that this is not only a law enforcement issue, but a human one. It calls on all of us, residents, families, educators, and community leaders, to stay informed, to look out for one another, and to stand against exploitation in all its forms. Whereas Bridgewater Township is committed to doing its part through thoughtful policy discussions, collaboration with law enforcement, and ongoing efforts to strengthen oversight and prevention, our township works to create conditions where exploitation is less likely to occur and where safety and accountability are prioritized. Now, therefore, I, Matthew Mensch, Mayor of Bridgewater Township, do hereby proclaim January 2026 as Human Trafficking Awareness Month in Bridgewater Township. Encourage all residents to take time to learn, to remain vigilant, to help foster a community rooted in safety, dignity, and respect for all. And I note that our chief is here and our command staff. One of the, we've been discussing a program that the chief has made me aware of that would also provide additional education to the public through our police department, so to help our residents be able to recognize signs of human trafficking and report it appropriately. So that will be more to come on that as the chief gets that up and ready to go. So thank you, Council President.
Thank you, Mayor. We do not have any presentations, so the meeting will be open to the public in a minute. Members of the public wishing to address the council on any matter will have 3 minutes to speak, which may be extended in the discretion of the council president. An additional minute will be allotted for responses to comments from the dais. May I have a motion to open the meeting to the public?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Anyone wishing to address the council may do so now. I would ask you to make sure that you write down your name and your address. There should be a sheet there for that.
My name is Mary Gallagher. I live at 102 Highland Avenue in Bridgewater.
Got to write it down, too.
Oh, I do, okay. Print or write, doesn't matter.
Welcome, Mary from Branchburg.
Okay, all right. The reason I'm here is some of you know my concerns, but I will reiterate for the new members, and I welcome all the new people that have come. Anyway, I have been concerned highly about the water supply system, both groundwater and with city water. I've had issues at some of the planning boards this last year that permits weren't obtained when they should have been for building purposes. Councilman Ring is very aware of the situation, and so is Councilman Kirsch, Pappas, every one of you. But I've been thinking about it a lot because we are in a moderate drought. It continues to go on. We have hot summers. The manufacturing building that was going to be put in that area that was halted, I fought that because that could contaminate our groundwater for the Green Knoll area. And we've got 2 examples of Bradley Garden having contaminated water by Fisher Scientific, and they had to go on city water because remediation of groundwater is very difficult. And then we had Ethicon. They've polluted, of course, the Peters Brook. There's no residential areas right there right now, so it's not as significant, but it is a significant contamination. My concern is that we are filling in wetlands, we are having more torrential rains, we have nothing but flooding, and when it does get dry, we go from extreme to extreme. So my concern is, what are we doing about it and how are we building? First of all, that manufacturing should not have been ever even accepted for that site. It's adjacent to a community on well water. You're building on a wetland. The M&M developers basically lied. They changed the whole scenario of the map and they made the wetlands a storm drain. That's terrible, and we accepted it. The planning board accepted it. I didn't like that, so I did call the DEP, and they helped get it stopped. But I shouldn't have had to do that, and that's a concern I have. So my recommendation at this point is that you try to get a certified, neutral environmentalist for the planning board meetings and for the zoning board meetings, so that when you have something like this, they will look at the outside neighborhood and say, well, what is it adjacent to that you are going to be building? Because, you know, I'm over the 200 feet, but yet I would be the first one to have contaminated water should that manufacturing company, like Ethicon did, contaminate my groundwater. I'm on well water. I like my well water. I'm a native Bridgewater. I was born and raised here. I've always grown up on well water. I love it. So don't take it from me. And I shouldn't have to plead to get it, my well water. So what I'm telling you is that I think you need to start looking at the planning and zoning boards for the areas, maybe high risk, maybe not. I'm talking about mountainsides too, because Chimney Rock Road, I'd never heard of flooding before after Ida. But you know what? You built all of those malls. You took the basic integrity of the mountain away. So you need to have somebody who knows what they're doing when it comes to the environment now. We're getting very crowded, overdeveloped. We need to know how to develop. And we can't do it when we don't know the environment. And that's kind of where I'm at.
My only comment to you, Mary, is I don't think there's too much that anybody on this dais would disagree with what you said. I don't know enough about it, and it's obviously an area that I need to learn more about it, and I don't know if anyone else on the dais wants to comment.
I'm willing to make a brief comment and simply say that our land use boards are critical. You're 100% right. I encourage you to stay and see the actions that we're going to take and the individuals that we're going to name, particularly to the zoning board. Critically important what's happening on the properties that are the subject of a hearing, as well as as neighbors. Typically speaking, projects will have environmental studies that are done, commissioned by the applicant.
Excuse me, but that's my concern, because the developers from M&M basically lied. They changed that map, and that whole environment, I went through that file. It's like that's what I got. I got the interpretation letter here.
And you know, moving forward, you know, there may be a greater role for an environmental committee. There may be a role, again, I can't commit to this, there may be a role for additional professionals so that you can have those protections. The other thing I just want to note to you and anyone else who's interested in land use matters is that we have a couple of different versions of our electronic newsletter. We have the one, you know, what I'll just call general one, which comes out monthly. And then we also have essentially a subversion of that, which any person can join. And they'll get the agendas for all planning board and zoning board. So whether you're within the 200 feet or not, that's the way to get notified. It's really not feasible for us to contact 46,000 residents for each and every land use application, nor is it required, but we have put into place a way for residents or professionals, anybody, to keep an eye on what's going on.
Yeah, and I know that you have tried very hard to communicate, and it's very difficult. And I was wondering how that could be changed, that 200-foot notification.
Well, it's interesting that it's interesting you asked that, because I have had conversation with Senator Steinhardt. There are multiple areas where I would like to see, it's just my personal opinion, I would like to see that lifted to a larger number. The areas that particularly concern me are residential abutting commercial, and any time that there's a use variance involved in commercial. Now, I don't know how much of a lift that's going to be. I've spoken with him, I've spoken with his staff, and it is something that I expect to pursue during the year.
Just to clarify to that point, it's not the 200-foot, not something we can change here. It's driven by Trenton, yes. So we need Trenton to allow us to basically change it.
So who would you contact in Trenton to do
Well,
that?
I've been discussing that with our state senator Steinhardt and his staff. It is, you know, I don't have a follow-up meeting scheduled yet, but he and I know that we need to get back on the calendar and get that moving.
Because it really was scary for me to realize that we're having a manufacturing, and if my water got contaminated, you know, and I didn't even know about it, that it was being built there, because I'm just outside that 200-foot. So it was like a real concern. That's why I've been so driven.
As you know, Mary, there's a lot of, from having come to those planning board meetings, there's a lot of things on that application, from the DEP to the DOT and what we could do on 202, 206, where our, you know, unfortunately, we're limited to pieces of that property and not the overall impact.
I understand that. But I guess I'm trying to find out is what will they use that property for, though? I mean, the office building worked fine, so there was never a problem there, but I'm just trying to figure, I know their office buildings are out, But it is a concern because we are so adjacent to it, what gets built there.
Have we received anything rescinding their plans?
No, just that it's approved for manufacturing, and
But
I'm not.
subject to all the state approvals.
If
Or,
I-
yeah, subject to whatever the the laws are, but from a use standpoint, it's approved for manufacturing, assuming they can comply with
And
everything.
it shouldn't.
All right, I'm going to ask you if we could just move on. I think there might be other people that want to speak as well.
Give these copies to you, they are.
Is this your only copy, or this is? Okay.
But if you could just look at that to see,
I'm giving it to our town clerk, and she'll probably make a copy for all of us.
they're all in the files too, so.
Okay, thank
Anyway,
you.
That's basically what I wanted to, my concerns.
And just a quick question, how many years have you been bringing this up for?
Probably about 2,
Okay.
maybe, about 2.
Well, the application
You know
started,
what? It happened, you did the warehouse first. The warehouse didn't go through because it didn't get the variance. I found that out. The way I found out.
well, there was an application submitted for a warehouse there, and then they
then
pulled it.
They switched it to the manufacturer.
Yep.
I found out because I was driving down 202 and I saw the building being destroyed. And I said, oh, what's going on there? So let me go call the town. And that's how I found out. And that had to be 1 or 2 years ago.
Yeah.
Because they went with the warehouse first, and they came back about a
It
year
was-
later with the manufacturing. That's when I found out, because the building was being knocked. But I
Yeah.
had no idea, and I was the
application-
first contaminated water before, if they had it.
Is there anyone else that,
No, it's just, Mary was a regular at our planning board meeting, and her and I have talked many of times, exchanged emails and telephone calls, and
Yes, I know, and I appreciate all of that input. I just am very nervous about what's being.
okay, I think it might be time for us to move on now.
Before we do, I just would like to ask, we do have an environmental commission. When is the next meeting of that?
At the moment, I don't think there's any actual appointees to it. I have a list of, well, I shouldn't say that. There's to be 2 new appointees. That's a board which is my appointments unilaterally. So Mr. Foose, who was a member, who was the chair of the zoning board, is going to be appointed to that. And that board has the statutory power of reviewing land use applications that, for the environmental standpoint, and issuing comments to the planning and zoning board. So that has not been done in the past, but it's going to be done moving forward. So Mr. Foose and there's another gentleman we'll put on, and we're going to kind of reinvigorate that board to take a greater use in land use applications.
Okay, that sounds.
And you brought up a great point, a certified environmentalist, because I know our neighboring town, Somerville, they have people that actually have degrees and degrees in this, so real experts to help us out.
And I'm going to say this, if anyone in the audience knows anyone, a certified environmental expert, or if anyone who's watching this on video knows anyone in Bridgewater who is a certified environmental expert who might want to put in a volunteer application for the mayor to consider for appointment to that commission, that might be a very good start. Thank you, Mary.
And I thank you.
Anyone else like to approach the dais? And again, you have to write your name, you have to say it, and you have to write it down.
Sorry, I have to do my password quickly to look at the clock.
Oh, well,
Okay,
loosely enforced.
what was that?
It's loosely enforced.
Okay. Claudia Levin Bateman, I've been here since 1962. I live at 94 Catherine Lane. I live at 62 Stella Drive. I've lived in nearby exotic locations like Branchburg, Raritan, Hillsborough, North Plainfield, and I know the area. I am a Jersey girl. I am a Somerset County girl. I'm a Bridgewater girl. So I need to say hello to everyone and welcome our new people, Councilwoman Isla, Councilwoman President Geiger, and Councilman Bucco, working on the names. Michael, Councilman Kirsch, happy to see you back. And Councilman Ring, Mayor Mensch, of course, and our Honorable Township Administrator, Attorney, and Municipal Clerk. Might be the last time I do that, but,
I'm telling you, the next time I have to name dignitaries, I'm going to have you do it.
okay. And a little late to the game, but that was a big meeting earlier in the week. I would like to thank past Congressman Howard Norgillis,
Councilman.
Councilman, what did I say?
Raise your hand, Howard.
Oh, I would like to thank you again. And Councilman Alan Cardilla and Councilman Philippe Pedestro for all the time and years they've given to this board. Others spoke very eloquently about, I think, 50 years combined service, doing their homework, coming here early to review their homework. Big shoes to fill, obviously make your own footprints, but I wanted to go on record thanking them. And I have a lot of stories, having lived here for a long time, but I will start with Councilwoman Isla, and I would like to thank you for sharing your story of immigration, I believe a first or second generation into the USA by way of New York City until you wound up in our bucolic suburb of Bridgewater, which reminds me of my family, same thing. Eastern Poland, Western Russia, Belarus, the Pale, over to New York City, where they wound up in the bucolic suburb of first Branchburg and then Bridgewater. And to Bridgewater's credit, they developed Ethicon, state-of-the-art international company of Johnson & Johnson that developed and manufactured sutures. And that's why my family and I came here. So I wanted to share that if I have another minute. Council Vice President Bucco, you mentioned community involvement. My husband, for one, loved coming here. He loved sitting in these meetings. He went to the planning board meetings, the zoning board meetings if he couldn't make them. He put the stream on. Sometimes he listened to the stream later. So we have active, plentiful community involvement. It's great to see more, but I'd like to see that you've recognized that we are doing it, and we do have that as one of our traits in our town. Many more stories, call me back when we have floods. And regarding Chief Mitzak and the trafficking, I can do a decent shrimp in jiu-jitsu because some of the officers sitting in the back taught me how. So I know our officers and police department have a lot to offer us, so I'd like to hear what they teach us about prevention and recognizing it, how to report it, and we probably have some social agencies around, like Safe and Sound for victims. Okay, thank you for your time.
Maybe we could have a presentation on that at one of our meetings.
Yeah, okay, thank you. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. Anyone from the dais want to comment?
No, except to say it's always nice to see Ms. Bateman when she comes to join us.
Yeah, and I just wanted to share, thank you for your kind summary. I do have a best friend from high school from Stuyvesant who actually did reverse immigration, and she's a doctor now in Poland. So I'll be visiting her and her dogs pretty soon. So, it works both ways. Thank you so much.
Anyone else like to approach the dais? Hello, Ms. Franco. I don't have to tell you to write your name and address, you know.
Good evening, Kathy Franco, Martinsville. So a couple things. One is I'd like to welcome the new members of the council, and it's always good to see the other members who have been serving for 6 years here as well. And I just wish you all well. And don't worry, I'll keep coming back.
We know.
There's no change in that. The other thing is item 16A. I see that there's a temporary budget allocation of $20,000 for $20,160,000, which is more than a quarter. And I know I've heard this in the past, that in the early part of the year, there's a lot of bills that have to be paid that cover the whole year. But budget was a big issue for me in the past. It'll continue to be a big issue for me in the future. And I and other members of the public will be watching closely as this council moves forward. So thank you very much, and I wish you all well.
I believe Andrew Bucko is going to address in great detail how we arrived at that 20,160,000 number, and there may be other comments from the dais, but I know Andrew looked at it very closely, and if you stay tuned, if you can stay till the end, you'll hear it.
Okay, great. Thank you very much.
Anyone else want to comment from the dais?
No.
Okay. Do we have anyone else that would like to speak publicly? Mr. Albano? Also a former councilman, right? What years? What years were you on the council?
From 1985 to 2009.
Oh, my era. I know. I remember 1985.
I don't regret a day of it. You want to know which day that was?
After I joined the council, Bob said to me one day, "How do you like it?" I said, "Some days it's good, some days it's bad." He goes, "I know you're being truthful." Do you remember that, Bob?
Good evening. My name is Robert Albano, and I live at 1149 Papin Road, Bridgewater. Most people just pronounce it Papin Road, but it is of German origin after von Papen, who was the last chancellor of Germany before the Nazis took over. Piece of irrelevance. Andrew, that's what I want. I know where the bodies are buried. Anyway, congratulations. Happy New Year to everyone. And I wish the new council members the best of luck, and thank the current council members for all of their good work. Two things I want to talk about. Number one, I am the Bridgewater representative to the Sewage Authority, and Joe LaFieri, who is the other member, couldn't make it tonight. He's recovering from surgery. But I wanted to thank Tom Genova, Bill Burr, and Dickie Schremp for all their help with the Sewage Authority and helping manage the sewer system of Bridgewater. I also want to invite the new liaison members, and Mike is existing one, but to come and tour the facility. And any other member who would like to be. I know Mr. Pappas has been there and he understands it, but I think it's important to know where it goes when you go. So let's set up some time and we'll all come.
So I was going to come, well, the weather is still cold, because I think that I might be colder, but the odor might be a little better. Am I right?
For me, it's the smell of money. No, there's a lot of outside stuff, and it is cold. I mean, today would have been a great day,
Okay,
but it's up to you. But as long as there's no more than two.
right? We know.
And Council President, there's really two pieces of it. It's the pumping stations that we own, and I do recommend gaining familiarity with that system. And then what he's discussing is further downstream, so to speak, at SRVSA, the processing plant.
It's not the pump stations and pipes that Bridgewater owns, but it's at the end of the pipe when it gets treated, when we turn into potable water.
Okay,
Cleaner than the stuff in the river, by the way. That's,
a little scary.
that was my first. Now, my other one. As a trustee of the Martinsville Rescue Squad, I want to invite each of you to come to the building to take a look at our facility and our equipment and get a firsthand understanding of what the 70 or so volunteers do in the 1,300 calls that were made protecting and helping this township last year. So again, no more than two, and any member, Mr. Mayor and Mr. Pappas, so also welcome to come. And that's it. So thank you, good night. Oh, by the way, this is Howard's hat. He knows what that means.
I was going to say, you didn't invite me for a tour.
I'm sorry?
You didn't invite me for a tour.
He's a life member of the Martinsville Rescue Squad. He can come anytime he wants.
The mayor's actually a former member.
The mayor's father.
No, the mayor's a former member as well.
Are you a life member? No. You want to ride?
No.
Good night.
I got enough things on my plate.
Good night, all. Thank you.
Thank you, former
Thank you.
councilman. Would anyone else like to approach the dais?
Well, I'm interested in finding out how to become a member now.
No, you're not. You have enough to do.
There's a link on the township website.
I don't see the paper for writing my name and address. Somebody walk.
Oh, sometimes people walk away with it.
Bob, did you steal
anyone
the
take it?
sign-in sheet? No, the
Oh,
sign-in sheet.
I've done that, Bob, so don't feel bad.
That's
Bob, you were trouble when you were on the council, and you're still trouble now.
why Chief Mitzak's in the back of the room. Stop you on the way out.
Okay, John Tegler, 45-plus year resident of Bridgewater, originally of Highland Avenue. One of my neighbors was up here recently. I know a lot about water issues in Bridgewater. In that house, around 1982, my basement was flooded up to the windows, and we had the fire company there to pump us out. At that time, neighbors were putting pipes through their backyards, getting companies to come and dig trenches and put pipes so that we would have some kind of drainage. Of course, it's been improved dramatically in that area now, but Bridgewater has water problems everywhere. But I'm not here about that. The other thing I wanted to mention was we really are lucky to have rescue squads like the Martinsville Rescue Squad. I'm from Martinsville, 3 Loft Drive, Martinsville. So we downsized recently from originally 40 Highland Avenue and then 816 Starview Way for quite a number of years. And we have used the rescue squad 3 or 4 times. So I know the importance of the Martinsville Rescue Squad. Okay, that's not the reason why I'm here. The reason why I'm here is I read the minutes of what was offered as, not minutes, but a summary of the agenda. And it's very confusing to me what all the, who are all the committees and where are all the opportunities for citizens of Bridgewater to offer their services to join a committee. It's a little bit, yes, you can find out if you know the name of it. You can go to the website, you'll find something, but it might be something for you to consider. Is there some kind of a simplified?
There's an application, and maybe in the future, we could print a couple of them out and leave them outside for people to see. But there is an application. Mayor, you may have noticed an uptick in the number of people sending in applications because we have been asking people to apply. In terms of the confusion,
I'm out there now, so.
I know, because I forgot to ask Grace to do that. But it's very confusing. There are a lot of them. It's very confusing. Some of them are more active than others.
Sure.
But I think we all would like to see more citizen involvement. So
Okay.
at the next meeting, we'll have it. But in the meantime, you can find it on the website. You have to dig a little bit to find it, but you
Okay,
can
so-
find it
so
on the
After
website.
looking through the list here, I understand all that. I didn't see anything here about the Budget Finance Committee and who are the representatives from this council.
That there will be, we limited the agenda as much as we could for tonight because we only had 3 days since the reorg.
I understand.
So there's more to come. But I just want you to know you're not the first person to ask about it. Other people have asked as
That
well.
was my real primary question. I know it's a key issue for you and for everyone, and so we're wanting to see that clarified. thank you very much. Thanks for all of you for your efforts and what you're putting yourself out for. It's really important for Bridgewater. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else want to comment from the dais?
I mean, we could just maybe answer the question right now that the two members of the Budget Committee are Councilwoman Isla and Councilman Bucko, but as a five-member council, we all are quite interested in the budget and the budget process. It's simply the fact that only two of us at a time can meet, and that's why two are designated for budget and finance.
Anyone else like to speak?
Seeing no one, motion to close public comment.
Do I have a second?
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay. So now we will move on to a series of mayor's appointments with advice and consent. The first appointment, I think I can read a fair number of these. Can I read them all and we can approve them all by consent?
With me?
Yeah, so mayor's appointments with advice and consent would be A, appointment of the Registrar of Vital Statistics, Vilma Day. Is Vilma here? No, okay. Appointment of qualified purchasing agent Sarah Hausman as the 2026 Public Agency Compliance Officer, PACO. I don't think she's here, but I will say she was very, very helpful today to the new council members in helping us figure out some things about the budget. C, authorizing an award of contract to Rehab Co., I'm not going to read the address, for affordable housing and provide housing rehabilitation program services for a 12-month period commencing on January 1st, 2026 in an amount not to exceed $180,000 paid from the township's Affordable Housing Trust Fund. I will comment with respect to that. I think that we are looking into whether or not to retain them for the future, whether or not to go in-house. It has been in-house in the past. It seems to be a back and forth, but there are some discussions about it, and next year you may or may not see the same resolution. D, authorizing an award of contract to Round Hill Risk Partners to serve as the township's risk manager for health insurance services for a term of 1 year commencing on January 1st, 2026, pursuant to the fair and open process as defined by NJSA 19:4040A-20-7 at no cost to the township. And I will comment there as a new council member. Everyone I've spoken to seems to be happy enough with them and with the work they've performed. And E, authorizing an award of contract to North American Insurance Management, and I'll skip the address, to serve as the township's risk manager for property and casualty insurance services for a term of 1 year commencing on January 1st, 2026, pursuant to the fair and open process as defined by NJSA 19:44A-20-7 at no cost to the township. Again, there seems to be no problems with them. It seems to be running relatively smoothly. So can I have a motion to approve all of the mayor's appointments with advice and consent?
I just had a quick question on C. I just wanted to make sure that the expenditure complies with the trust fund regulations. Yes. Okay, thank you.
Do we need a motion to combine the items first?
I don't think so. Do I need a motion to combine?
Move them all on consent.
Okay. So can I have a motion to move all of them by consent?
So moved.
Second?
Sure.
All in favor?
Aye. No,
You need a
to
roll call.
it.
Okay.
Councilman Bucko,
Aye.
Councilwoman Isla,
Yes.
Councilman Kirsch,
Yes.
Councilman Ring,
Yes.
President Geiger.
Yes. Now we move on to the mayor's appointments with advice and consent. These are the appointments.
Without advice.
I'm sorry, without advice and consent. So we don't vote on it, we just read them, right?
Read them.
Yeah, you could read them or just, acknowledge the folks that are
Yeah, I'll read them. Some people work hard to get on these things. A, appointments to the Local Emergency Management Council, Christine Madrid, Christopher Corazzini, right here, James Edwards, I don't think he's here, John Mitzak, he's here in the back, our chief, John Tillotson, Michael Voorhees, Richard Shimp, Thomas Scalera, Timothy Ring, right here, Wayne Carter, Scott Stevens, he's here, or he was, I thought he was, yeah. Appointment of planning board members, Class 1, Ruth Bongiorno. Class 2, Michael Pappas, he's here. Class 4, Henry Wang. And alternate 1, William Atkins. Any of those people here?
Bruce is here.
All right. Appointment to the Somerset County Solid Waste Advisory Committee, Tom Genova. I don't think, yeah, there you go. Appointments to the Somerset County Community Development Consortium, Scott Stevens, he's here. So,
And Council President, just one other, just two other notes real quick. I've also reappointed Jamie Edwards as our OEM coordinator. And so I just want to, it's not on the agenda, but again, since it's not without advice and consent, I mean, because it does not involve advice and consent. I have done that, and I think I mentioned earlier, Mr. Foose, and there's another appointee that I will appoint to the Environmental Commission.
okay. That's it, right?
That's it for without advice and consent.
Okay. Now we're moving on to the council appointments. These we will handle separately. Appointment of the auditor, Suppley, Clooney and Company, in an amount not to exceed $67,475,000 for a one-year term commencing on January 1st, 2026. Can I have a motion to approve that appointment? Is there any discussion?
I'll make the motion.
I have a second?
Second.
Do we need a roll call for that?
Councilman Bucko,
Aye.
Councilwoman Isla,
Yes.
Councilman Kirsch,
Yes.
Councilman Ring,
Yes.
President Geiger.
Yes. Appointment of the Assessment Search Officer, William Burr, Township Engineer. Can I have any discussion? Second?
I'll second.
Any discussion? Can I have a roll call, please?
Councilman Bucko,
Aye.
Councilwoman Isla,
Yes.
Councilman Kirsch,
Yes.
Councilman Ring,
Yes.
President Geiger.
Yes. Appointments to the Board of Adjustment, James Franco as a regular member, Christine Henderson Rose as a regular member, Johanna Wiseman as an alternate 1, Claudio Vesio as alternate 2, John Colucci as alternate 3, and Anthony Magnella as alternate 4. Can I have a motion?
Sorry, I have these as separate resolutions.
Yeah,
I would-
I thought they were too, but.
If we could do
Okay.
number 1 first, please.
Okay, so we'll start with number 1, James Franco. Can I have a motion? And then we'll have discussion.
Well, is there a motion?
A motion to appoint James Franco as a regular member to the Board of Adjustment.
So moved.
Second,
Second.
is there any discussion?
There is definitely considerable discussion. So I'm not going to belabor the point. I'd like to have the most of the zoning board conversation once, and it will apply to all of these nominations. So the first thing I'd like to say is how appreciative I am, and I think we all are, for people who are willing to serve. The Board of Adjustment in particular is one that takes a lot of time and care, and the reason why that's important is because it has such a spectacular impact on our community. It has in the past, it will in the future. Bears noting that 2 members who are not scheduled for reappointment had a combined, I don't even know how many years. Jeff Foose was on for at least 12 years, including the last 6 as chairman, and Don Sweeney was on over 20. I don't know, Mayor. How long was Don Sweeney on?
He was on at least since 2006 when I was first on.
Okay, so let's just call it 20 years. He was the chair prior to Mr. Foose. And our zoning board has an outstanding reputation. Individual, or I should say, cases that come before the zoning board receive a very fair and very thorough hearing. That is certainly not a rubber stamp board by any stretch of the imagination. The Board of Adjustment is quasi-judicial, and individuals who submit completed applications are entitled to a fair and thorough hearing, and that's what they receive here. So I am very concerned that Mr. Foose is not being retained. I'm concerned that Mr. Sweeney is not being retained. I am concerned that also, again, assuming that these appointments go through, that we would be losing the expertise of Chris Gabbett. But I'm also realistic to understand that this body is different than it was last year. But it bears noting that we're going to make essentially 5 new appointments, assuming that it goes as anticipated. We're going to be moving Claudio Vesio, who's in the audience, from alternate 3 to alternate 2. That means 5 new people or 5 opportunities. And when we met here just 3 nights ago, there was all kinds of talk about bipartisanship and collaboration and let's all work together. And basically, in just about the first opportunity to either be that way or go in a different direction, it looks like we're going in a different direction. We're going with individuals who are the choice of 3 of the council members without taking into account the feelings of the other 2. So essentially, this is going to be 5-0 in terms of how these seats are distributed. I'm also particularly troubled. We love to use the word transparency. I think we need to understand what transparency means. Until 2 days ago, when I requested information about these individuals, there was nothing on record. There were no letters of intent. There were no resumes. There was nothing, absolutely nothing. I guess maybe there were winks and nods of who was to be appointed, and that, in my mind, is not transparent at all. Because of the documentation that's been provided over the last couple days, there's at least something for the public to see about these individuals. And then just the final comment that I'd like to make, particularly about this first one. I have no objection to Mr. Franco being a member of the zoning board per se, but this seat could and should remain with Mr. Foose. He has had outstanding feedback from people of all political stripes, from professionals. The feeling is that board has operated exceptionally well. And I just find it to be a shame that everyone on this dais has heard that feedback, but unfortunately, one bit of feedback they heard was that he was difficult to get along with. And he was difficult to get along with in 2019 when we had a Republican primary. And I just think it's disappointing that 6 years later, instead of just letting the results stand for what they were, a pound of flesh is being exacted through this action. So with that said, I would like to make a motion to amend this Resolution 12C, and where it states James Franco and his residence, I will make a motion to amend that to read Jeffrey Foose, residing at 6 Forest View Drive in Martinsville, New Jersey, 08836.
Do I have a second?
I'll second it.
Can we have a roll call on this? Or is there any discussion? Well, I have a lot of things to say. First of all, I find it fascinating that your comment is that we've only had this discussion a couple days ago. So let's talk about the real history here. It seems to me that you and I had discussions about this starting about 2 weeks ago. It was the holidays. It was very difficult. It was very rushed. You've been aware of the intent to appoint Mr. Franco and Ms. Rose for quite a while. It was originally supposed to be 2 full-term members and 2 alternate members. Because someone dropped off and is going to the planning board, that then became 2 full-time members and 3 alternate members. And as late as Tuesday, I became aware of the fact that it would be 4 alternate members. So in terms of the lateness, and I would say this to you, Michael, you did not ask me for any information about any of these individuals until Tuesday. Secondly,
Well, the information should be
I'm speaking.
available.
Excuse me, I'm speaking.
Okay.
I also, in my introductory speech, made a lot of comments about diversity. And I would like to point out to the public what diversity we do or do not have on the zoning board, which is part of the reason for some of these appointments. I believe, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, but as the current board stands, I believe there is no woman on the board.
That's inaccurate.
Who's on the board? One?
Well, I mean,
One. So there are how many women and how many men? I think there are 5 men and 1 woman. Okay? I believe there is 1, maybe 2 persons of color. I believe there is no member of the LGBTQ community. Excuse me, you're out of order. There are no Democrats. There are no Republicans. This town, this council has had 37 years of Republican rule, and for 37 years, you have appointed primarily, if not exclusively, Republicans to this board. So it is time for a woman, another woman, to be appointed to this board, Christine Rose, who, by the way, is a Republican and a former councilwoman. I think it is nice
Council
that we will
president
now
as
have
well.
2 women
Yeah.
on this board instead of 1. Mr. Franco is a registered independent, and I think it's nice that there will be an independent on the board because, as I said in my reorganization speech, 1/3 of our voters are independents, 1/3 of our voters are Republicans, and 1/3 of our voters are Democrats. I also think it's really nice to note that the first alternate who I have proposed is a known member of the LGBTQ community, and I'd venture to guess that she is one of the first, if not the first, member or alternate member of that community to be appointed to this board, and that would make her the second woman that could potentially be voting on this board. The other members, the second alternate, was one specifically recommended and specifically appointed because Councilman Kirsch requested it. So that was for you, Michael. I'm sorry you do not appreciate it. And the other 3 are all Democrats. And frankly, I don't think it is unfair that the Board of Adjustment will now be made up of 1 independent, 2 women, 3 Democrats, and the rest Republicans, and 1 or 2 people of color. I think that's fine. And I'm going to say this. I think even more importantly, and I want to thank you, Michael, for drawing the attention to the importance of the different aspects of the people being appointed to this board, because something I didn't consider until today, and I can assure you I will be considering in the future, and I would urge every member on this dais and the mayor, when we are looking at our appointments, we should be looking at geographics. Our Board of Adjustment should have, if possible, a qualified member from Bradley Gardens, a qualified member from the Findern section of Bridgewater, a qualified member from Green Knoll, a qualified member from Martinsville, and a qualified member from Milltown. And if there are any other sections that people feel should be covered, because geography is important. We know that the demographics of this town vary depending on the different sections, and when we're looking at appointing people to boards and committees, I think it is very important to look at the mixture of men and women, the mixture of Democrats, Republicans, Independents, making sure we include people from all different communities, such as our LGBTQ community, and especially that we consider the geographics and what part of town they live in. Thank you. No, you may not. This is not open to the public. Well, actually, I take that. Is this?
no, it's not.
It's not. Sorry. So, having said, was there any further discussion?
Mr. Bucko did.
I would like to point out that this is not a complete turnover of the board, and I understand Councilman Kirsch's concern about the experience of the individuals who were on the board and ultimately not being reappointed, but there are a number of individuals who will remain on the board who have that institutional knowledge, and I think it is a good opportunity for them to pass on that institutional knowledge to other individuals.
Madam President, just being very brief and not being combative, I don't believe it was my place to ask for background information. I believe it should be delivered. But just so that we can kind of cut to the chase here, I believe that the lineup should be Mr. Foose and former Councilwoman Christine Rose. I believe that the first alternate should be the highly experienced and multi-jurisdiction engineer Claudio Vecchio. I believe that should then place Mr. Franco in alternate number 2, potentially Ms. Wiseman in alternate 3, and Mr. Colucci in alternate 4. That is my preferred lineup. I believe that achieves many of your goals, and I will attempt to see if there is support for that batting order: Foose and Rose as the permanent members, Vecchio, Franco, Wiseman, and Colucci in that order. That reaches balance. That is a mixture of old and new. It gives the board an opportunity on day one to have people who have substantial land use knowledge, which is critically important, because when decisions are made without complete knowledge, it opens the township up to litigation and other challenges.
Is that a motion?
I did make the motion, and it was seconded.
Okay. Can we have a roll call, please?
Councilman Baco? Councilwoman Isla?
No.
Councilman Kirsch?
Yes.
Councilman Ring?
Yes.
President Geiger?
No. The motion is denied. We go back to the original motion. I don't believe I need to reiterate it. Are there any comments with respect to the original motion?
Yes. You mentioned earlier during the public comments about how you were asking everyone who wanted to be involved to fill out applications. Do we have applications for these individuals?
We have Mr. Kirsch asked for resumes and letters of intent, and I believe they are attached in your packet.
No, I understand that. I'm just wondering, is there also applications?
No, I don't believe there is a specific application. The applications we have are for the committees.
Okay, thank you.
But for the future, we can have one. We can make one up, or we can make it clear that it would be for that as well.
You're absolutely right. This is a process that started some time ago with some conversations, and I'm going to go back to a meeting that took place at the end of last year, where there was some discussion about the zoning board, and as the comment, a bipartisan comment about the wonderful work that Chairman Foose had done on the planning board, but a concern that we couldn't reappoint him because of personalities issues outside of the zoning board. And then in further discussion about, well, who was going to be appointed, one of the comments was we were appointing someone who was a great realtor, but you couldn't remember her name. And while we may disagree on certain things, my perception is that we're not doing what we perceive to be best for Bridgewater, but for partisan purposes. And again, that's my perception. I respect your opinion, but I will not be supporting.
Well, I don't think that having a board that consists of 100% Republicans is nonpartisan.
My proposal is bipartisan.
And how many Democrats are included in your proposal?
I don't know. You tell me. I don't know. Is Mr. Colucci a Democrat? I don't know. Is Ms. Wiseman a Democrat? I don't know, because that's not how I view the world. I view the world as quality land use board members.
The best candidate for the position.
Can we have a motion? I believe there's a motion on the table. Can we have a roll call, please?
Councilman Baco?
Aye.
Oh, I'm sorry. Councilwoman Isla?
Yes.
Councilman Kirsch?
Respectfully, no.
Councilman Ring?
No.
President Geiger?
Yes. Motion is passed.
And I just want to comment not only for this appointment, but a lot of the other volunteer positions we have been asking, including today I received a resume and a letter of intent. Whether they get to the appropriate people, just let us know if you don't get that letter of intent with that resume, because people are spending a lot of time filling out the application, the volunteer application, giving me a copy of that, their resume and letter of intent, out of their busy lives. So there are a lot of people that are putting these 3 separate applications together for us. So I hope we get time to review it. If you've missed any of them, just let us know immediately so we can provide them to you. We've been asking for copies for us so we can provide them to you in case they get missed somehow.
Okay, moving on to D, appointment of Class 3 Planning Board member.
Well, we need to do the others in C.
I'm sorry, what?
The others in C.
One zoning.
Oh, okay, so we have to, can we have a motion, do we need a separate motion for all of them, or are we
Yes,
just going to do
please.
a roll call? Okay, can we have a motion, well, I will make a motion to appoint Christine Henderson Rose as a regular member.
I'll second.
A roll call?
Councilman Bucko,
Aye.
Councilwoman Isla,
Yes.
Councilman Kirsch,
Yes.
Councilman Ring,
No.
President Geiger.
Yes. Can we have a motion to appoint Johanna Wiseman as alternate 1?
So moved.
Do you have a second? I'll second it.
Discussion, please.
Discussion, go ahead.
And I'll be brief because there's no point in going over old ground. I believe that this order should be, and it would be a bipartisan solution. Mr. Vesio, well, I guess Mr. Franco has now been seated, then Ms. Wiseman, and then Ms. Colucci, and kind of figure it out from there. I'm a little out of order now, but I believe that this seat number 1, it should go to a licensed and experienced engineer who has board experience, who is ready from day 1, is trained, is highly capable. So I would make a motion to amend where it says, where it says the name
Johanna Wiseman, you would make a motion?
Johanna Wiseman and her address. I would make a motion to amend that to state Claudio Vesio, whose address is 2151 Perrine Road in Martinsville, New Jersey, 08836.
Do I have a second?
Sure.
Roll call?
Councilman Bucko,
Nay.
Councilwoman Isla,
No.
Councilman Kirsch,
Yes.
Councilman Ring,
Yes.
President Geiger.
No. Moving on to Claudio Vesio as
Well,
alternate.
we need to approve.
I'm sorry. Oh, we need a motion to approve.
So moved.
Roll call?
Second. I need a second.
We need a second.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Councilman Bucko,
Aye.
Councilwoman Isla,
Yes.
Councilman Kirsch,
No.
Councilman Ring,
No.
President Geiger.
Yes. I'm sorry, I thought we did Joanna Wiseman and we were on Claudio.
Now we're on Claudio.
Okay, now we're on Claudio Vesuvio. Okay, so I need a motion to appoint Claudio Vesuvio as alternate 2.
So moved.
I'll second.
Roll call?
Councilman Bucko,
Aye.
Councilwoman Isla,
Yes.
Councilman Kirsch,
Yes.
Councilman Ring,
No.
President Geiger.
Yes. Now moving on to alternate 3, John Colucci. Can I have a motion to appoint John Colucci as alternate 3? I think Mr. Colucci is here in the audience.
So moved.
Second? I'll second.
A discussion, please. I have no objection to Mr. Colucci. I also had no objection to Ms. Wiseman. I just have an objection to the batting order. And in this case, I believe that this seat should go to the experienced Chris Gabbett. So in the place on the resolution where it says John Colucci, I'd like to propose an amendment that it instead state Christopher Gabbett, whose address is 1118 Sky Hill Road in Bridgewater, New Jersey, 08807.
Do I have a second?
I'll second it.
Councilman Bucko,
Nay.
Councilwoman Isla,
No.
Councilman Kirsch,
Yes.
Councilman Ring,
Yes.
President Geiger.
No. I think that brings us back to the original motion.
It does.
Can I have a motion to appoint John Colucci as the alternate number 3?
So moved.
Second.
Councilman Bucko,
Aye.
Councilwoman Isla,
Yes.
Councilman Kirsch,
No.
Councilman Ring,
No.
President Geiger.
Yes. And moving on to alternate number 4, Anthony McNella. Can I have a motion to appoint Anthony McNella as the alternate number 4?
So moved.
Second. Any discussion?
Discussion, this is not the batting order that I would have preferred. This is not the makeup of this board that I would like and that I believe Bridgewater deserves. So with appropriate respect to Mr. McNella as well as all the others, I will be voting no.
You want to take a roll call?
Councilman Buckle,
Aye.
Councilwoman Isla,
Yes.
Councilman Kirsch,
No.
Councilman Ring,
No.
President Geiger.
Yes. The appointments are approved. So we're moving on to D, appointment of Class 3 Planning Board member, Ridwana Isla. Do I need a motion for that?
I'll move it.
Can I have a second?
Second.
Is there any discussion? Can
I
we
mean,
have-
I'll just say the only discussion is this is also a critically important position because it determines or can determine changes in the face of Bridgewater. The planning board has one member, the Class 3 member, appointed from among us, and this is a critically important decision, as was the case for all the zoning board appointments that we just did.
Any further discussion? Can we have a roll call?
Councilman Buckle,
Aye.
Councilwoman Isla,
Yes.
Councilman Kirsch,
Yes.
Councilman Ring,
Yes.
President Geiger.
Yes. So moved. Appointment to the Greenbrook Flood Control Commission. Can I have a motion to appoint myself as the council liaison and a motion to appoint Councilman Kirsch as the alternate liaison?
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? Can we have a roll call?
Councilman Buckle,
Aye.
Councilwoman Isla,
Yes.
Councilman Kirsch,
Yes.
Councilman Ring,
Yes.
President Geiger.
Yes. Appointment of the Tax Search Officer, Blanca Lyons. Can I have a motion
So
to?
moved.
Second? I'll second. Any discussion? Can we have a roll call?
Councilman Buckle,
Aye.
Councilwoman Isla,
Yes.
Councilman Kirsch,
Yes.
Councilman Ring,
Yes.
President Geiger.
Yes. Appointments to the Somerset County Community Development Consortium. Can I have a motion to appoint Joan Geiger as the council liaison and Andrew Bucko as the alternate liaison? I will move it.
I'll second.
Is there any discussion? Can we have a roll call, please?
Councilman Buckle,
Aye.
Councilwoman Isla,
Yes.
Councilman Kirsch,
Yes.
Councilman Ring,
Yes.
President Geiger.
Yes. Appointments to the Somerset County Solid Waste Advisory Committee. Okay. The appointment here is for myself as the council liaison and Councilman Kirsch as the alternate liaison. Can I have a
I'll
motion?
make
So
that
moved.
motion.
All right, second.
Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Councilman Buckle,
Aye.
Councilwoman Isla,
Yes.
Councilman Kirsch,
Yes.
Councilman Ring,
Yes.
President Geiger.
Yes. Appointment to the Somerset Raritan Valley Sewage Authority. Can I have a motion to appoint Michael Kirsch as the council liaison and myself as the alternate liaison?
So moved.
Can I have a second?
Second.
Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Councilman Buckle,
Aye.
Councilwoman Isla,
Yes.
Councilman Kirsch,
Yes.
Councilman Ring,
Yes.
President Geiger.
Yes. Appointment to the Raritan Millstone Flood Control Commission. Can I have a motion to appoint myself, to appoint
moved.
Joan Geiger as the council liaison?
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Councilman Buckle,
Aye.
Councilwoman Isla,
Yes.
Councilman Kirsch,
Yes.
Councilman Ring,
Yes.
President Geiger.
Yes. Appointments to the Somerset Regional Animal Shelter Management Committee, Robert Devanani, James Widelli, Tony Hoffman, Joan Flynn, Michael Kirsch as council liaison. Can I have a motion?
Sorry. Well, all right, take your motion. I'll hold my comment till
Is there a
that.
motion?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Yeah, discussion, please. There's an inaccuracy that needs to be corrected. Joan Flynn needs to be a representative member because she is the secretary, and you need to be a full member. and Robert Devnani should be designated as the alternate representative
That's in the actual resolution itself.
in the resolution itself. So the names are correct,
In the resolution.
but in the be it further resolved, if we could, I guess maybe I'll make the motion to amend the designation of Robert Devnani to alternate representative and the designation of Joan Flynn to representative.
Second.
Any discussion? I just have a question. I know that, Andrew, you were trying very hard to reach out to these people. Were you able to reach out to all of them? I believe they have all served before, but did you have contact with all of them?
I did not have the opportunity to speak with Robert yet.
Okay, so if you do speak to Robert and for some reason or another he does not want to continue on, then we would, I guess, presumably reappoint or
We
appoint
would
someone
appoint
else.
someone different, correct?
Okay. Any further discussion? Roll call, please.
Councilman Baco?
Well, this is to make the amendment. I don't know.
On the amendment.
Can we do yay and nay on an amendment?
Yes, can we have all in favor of the amendment?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, so the amendment has passed, and then can we have a roll call on the motion as amended?
Councilman Baco?
Aye.
Councilwoman Isla?
Yes.
Councilman Kirsch?
Yes.
Councilman Ring?
Yes.
President Geiger?
Yes. Appointments to the Middlebrook Regional Health Commission. This may require some discussion. Can I have a motion to appoint Councilman Timothy Ring and Councilwoman Ridwana Isla to the Middlebrook Regional Health Commission?
So moved.
Second?
I'll second.
Is there a discussion?
Council President, I just wanted to clarify whether or not this resolution is intended to appoint liaisons or intended to appoint the actual members. Right, because I believe, my understanding is that the appointments to the Middlebrook Commission itself are mayor's appointments with advice and consent of the council. If the council wants to have liaisons to it, that's a different, I don't have any objections to that. And my issue or concern is that the commission is essentially an administrative department. It runs our health department. And I believe that those appointments should be ours. At one point in time, we had staff, Christine Madrid and Wells Winiger, who was our deputy administrator at the time, were the appointees. Last year, in deference to Councilman Orgalis, it was Councilman Orgalis served. I believe somewhere along the line, I think it kind of got translated into council appointments, which I don't think is what it should be, especially because it involves operations and administration of the health services in town. So, yeah, so if this is going to be liaison appointments, then I have zero concerns. If it is intended to be the actual commissioners, then I would have an issue because I think it's supposed to be advice and consent. And I would appoint, and to be clear, I would appoint administrative staff to those two positions. That's what my intention is.
Yeah, can you just, for the record, I'm not sure Ridwana and Andrew, I'm not sure all the other council members know who you would appoint.
Yeah, it would be
I'm aware.
Christine Madrid, who's who's in charge of our human services, which would include health. She had been on that previously, and I would appoint Scott Stevens, who was our deputy administrator, which is what we'd done initially. I don't have a problem appointing. We get a backup, an alternate. I don't have a problem appointing a council member as an alternate, or again having a council member attend as a liaison. But that is would be my intention. I can't go walk through the exact history as to how it kind of evolved into getting on our agenda this year as a council appointment without input from the administration.
If I could, I looked it up, and granted, I'm not an attorney, so I'm just going by the plain language reading of the state statute. But what I found was that in Title 26, Section 26, 3-85, it says that in municipalities having no independent local board of health, which I believe Bridgewater would qualify as, members of regional health commissions shall be appointed by the local governing body, which presumably is this council.
Yeah, there's case law, because this comes up, as you can imagine, in different scenarios. The term governing body isn't actually defined anywhere. So there's cases that indicate that governing body means whatever given our different forms of government. So if you're a borough form, governing body means whatever the appointment process is for a borough. And if you're a commission form of government, it's whatever that is. So there's been discussions in cases where the term governing body as applied to a Faulkner Act mayor would be consistent with the normal appointment process, which is, in almost every instance, advice and consent between the two. I don't know if there's any case law on this issue specifically. And the issue, quite frankly, is not one of obviously you guys are looking to appoint Tim as the number one representative. I'm not trying to. It's really a matter of just practicalities in governing, the department and the services. That's really the concern.
So I just consulted with Mr. Corzini, our attorney. He indicated that we could do both. In other words, that you can do the appointment, and we can call it with advice and consent of the two people that you wanted, and then we can also appoint two liaisons, which would then be Ridwana and Councilman Ring, and then everybody's happy. And,
I have
and
no
then we
problem
have
with
the
that.
best of all worlds.
Yeah, I have zero problem with that.
Okay.
Yeah, that's fine with me.
Okay, so can we do that then? Can we, I don't know if we can amend the agenda at this point, or how you want to do it? Okay.
We can, well, who do you want to appoint, you want to appoint Christine?
Right, Christine and Scott.
And do you want to fill the alternate?
So I suggest adding Grace. I would change L if there is a motion to do this to appointments of commissioners. Oh, pardon me. We have to do a little. So I would say appointment of liaison to the Middlebrook Health Commission. That would be one. And then I would say that I would amend the agenda. It's a little out of order at this point. I would go back up to 10. And add a F and just have that read, Grace, if this is what you want, Council President, your discretion. I would say appointments of commissioners to the Middlebrook Health Commission for the individuals that would be named again. I believe Ms. Madrid and Mr. Stevens. If that reflects what you want.
Can I make a motion to that effect?
So why don't we do this, since
Go ahead.
we're on 12L,
Okay.
and we've got a motion.
Is there a motion on 12L?
Yes, there's a motion, it was seconded. So I was going to suggest we amend 12L, close it out, then go back and do 10.
So we're
Okay,
going
so I'm going to make a motion to amend 12L to
appointment of liaison.
Liaison and alternate liaison in the first whereas.
May I just ask, is the appointments to this commission time sensitive in that it wouldn't be able to function without?
Christine, when's the first meeting? I forget.
You want a motion to table this, and we'll handle it properly on
Fine.
second
It
meeting?
makes no difference. I mean, whatever the council wants to do. I think we have it worked out, so we can vote on L and
Yeah, and then we could fix the agenda.
whatever you guys want to do. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, we could fix the agenda and clean it up for the meeting on the 22nd. Fair enough, so we will table,
Well, I'll make the motion to table to 12L so that it can be considered at the meeting in 2 weeks.
I'll second. Can we have a roll call?
Councilman Baco?
This is to table?
Yes.
Correct.
Aye.
Councilwoman Isla?
Yes.
Councilman Kirsch?
Yes.
Councilman Ring?
Yes.
President Geiger?
Yes. All right, appointment to the Regional Center Partnership Committee, Timothy Ring as liaison. Can I have, I'll make that motion. Can I have a second?
Second.
Do we have any discussion? I guess we need a roll call.
Councilman Baco?
Aye.
Councilwoman Isla?
Yes.
Councilman Kirsch?
Yes.
Councilman Ring?
Yes.
President Geiger?
Yes. Now we have the oaths of office. I think
Before we move on, I apologize. I have a question I would like to raise regarding appointments with consent and advice and consent. Do you want to do that now, or do you want to wait before we do oaths of office, or do you want to wait till the end?
which ones do we're not doing, I think that's it.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You want me to surface it now?
Okay, oh, you want to take the question now?
No, I would like to, I have a question regarding appointments and advice, with advice and consent.
Sure.
So, okay. We have a group of township residents who go through a very rigorous process through Citizen Corps, federal government program, who then go and complete a training program that's administered through the State Office of Emergency Management, and the training is actually administered here locally by the Somerset County Office of Emergency Management. This group is known as CERT, or Community Emergency Response Team. These individuals are then go through an application process where they are fingerprinted, go through an extensive background check by the police department, and have been serving our community for a number of years. A couple of years ago, we discovered there was an issue raised to us by the state on our CERT program where we needed to basically have a roster every year of who the CERT members were, because it allows them, when they're operating, it makes it clear they're operating as a township employee, therefore covered under liability and workers' comp insurance. Working with Office of Emergency Management, we had tried to get this on today. I'm not quite sure what happened to it, but my concern is by us not taking action in approving the roster of these individuals who have volunteered in the CERT program, if we, God forbid, had some kind of flood we've talked about today, or something else tomorrow or next week, these individuals have not been approved and therefore would not be able to provide assistance in the community. So I'm just like to understand what happened.
No,
to the
I'm
CERT.
well aware of what you're talking about, and I saw the list today. Ridwana and I saw it. I think you've seen it in the past because it's identical to last year's list.
We
And
have
I
to
think,
do the appointment
Councilman
every
Kirsch,
year.
you've seen it, and we need to do that tonight if possible because of the insurance issue. The list had one new individual added, and we had requested, meaning Ridwana, Andrew, and I had requested that one name be removed. That person was not appointed last year.
They've made an application since
Okay.
then.
And the reason, I'll let Ridwana address why we asked that person be removed. But the other, I think there were like 20 names. The other 20 were fine, they seemed fine. There didn't seem to be any problem with any of them. And I think we need to go ahead, if we can at all, and at least approve those 20. And if we have to come back and have more discussion about the one that we have concerns about, maybe we could do that. But let's at least get those 20 appointed. Can we do that, Chris?
I guess I would have to we need to understand what those concerns are, given the fact that these individuals go through a vetting process approved by the federal government and the state, and our police department fingerprints them and does background checks on them.
I'll let Ridwana address that.
Yeah, sure. So the new person, we don't have any information on that person, and then also that person has reached out to me with some comments, so they're free to speak to me why they made those comments. These comments came in within the last 24 hours directly towards me, so we would need to address them and understand what the intention is, because these are emergency services. We want this person to be able to serve anyone that needs help. The opinions of this person are very specific and divisive. I'm afraid that if we do have an emergency, they will cherry pick who they will serve.
Wait a minute. Maybe I'm missing something. Are we talking about members on this dais going through a list of people who are certified and qualified, and we're now blackballing individuals? We are cherry picking who we will accept and not accept? Is that what's happening on this dais?
Well, that might be your interpretation of it, but you have not seen the specific, and I don't think it would be appropriate to read it in public, the specific social media post that's being talked about. So maybe and I don't want to table it. I think the obvious solution is appoint the 20 or so that we don't disagree on. And frankly, if there are 20 people, all right, on that, or 21 people on that list, and the 3 new members are saying, we accept 20 of the 21. Is it really a big deal to remove that one person?
I don't think it's this governing body's position to do that. I think, based upon our program, our police department does that vetting, the fingerprinting and background. So if there's a concern that someone has here, I would recommend that be shared with the police department so they can review that in their process. And I don't think it's this governing body's position to do that.
That's fine. Then I would suggest, and I'm not sure exactly how to go about it, but I think what we want to do is approve the 20, table the 21st, speak to the police department, although please understand, neither one of us, the only person that we cannot directly speak to the police department, okay? Because actually I wanted to do that today, but I can't do that, and for good reason. For good reason. The law does not allow us to do that. You have to go through the mayor. So without being able to do that at this point, maybe we can have a further discussion about that 21st person, but can we get the 20 approved that we need so that they are insured, so that if we have an emergency tomorrow, we have 20 people that are certified that can help with that response?
And we learned today that I think the police, when they call them, they won't call all 20, right? It will be as needed, and they can decide who they call.
I think my suggestion, I have not seen whatever it is, these are technically, I guess, the way this works, to be clear, this group is a little bit different than some of our other committees. Our other committees, for the public's benefit, are a little bit more small p political. But when we point people to the rec board or something like that, it's really just the individuals up here that decide who we're going to appoint, or I make nominations, and the council votes to approve or not approve. I mean, this is a little bit different where, I don't know who I don't know which people are, but I mean, this goes really through the police department. It's kind of a formality generally that I nominate them versus, I don't vet them. I get the list from the police department. I don't go through and say, hey, this is where you kind of drop in, random community activists, things like that. But it is my appointment, and I haven't seen the comments that are being made. So what I would feel most comfortable with this evening would be that we move forward with I counted, by the way, I think there's actually 24 other ones.
Okay.
So just to be clear, so we don't have confusion. But what I would suggest is that we move forward with the other ones. And if, Councilwoman, if you could, either provide the information or direct us to where we can find it, so we can ask the chief and his crew to take a look at it, because I don't know what it is. I don't want to speculate in terms of, and if there's something about the comments which would otherwise disqualify somebody from serving on this committee, I'd like the department to review it and say that. And if that's the response from the police department, then I would withdraw that nomination. And if it's not, if the department says, hey, this comment would not, from their standpoint, remove that vetting, then, we can come back and discuss it at the next meeting. We haven't done most of the mayor's appointment with advice and consent, so I assume at the next meeting or some meeting thereafter, we'll have more of those on there, and we can do it then. So
That makes sense to me.
And I've shared it with Mr. Pappas today already. The comment specifically, I have it. It is directly related to political parties. It's directly related to policy making, and it was directed at me. So I just wanted to make that clear.
And this
But I
is
did
on-
share it with Mr. Pappas today.
It's on social media, so
In
it's
the
out.
last 24 hours.
So it's out in the public view. Why don't we just say what it is? If it's out, I'm not on Facebook. Everybody knows that. But if someone's on Facebook, let's read it right here,
I
right
think
now.
Our council has suggested that we move on with this, and I think that's probably
I would,
a good
because
idea.
it's my appointment, technically it's my appointment, I'd like to move forward with the rest of them, removing that one for now, because I haven't seen it, and so therefore I can't comment about, and I want to be able to see the context of it, and, I just would feel much more comfortable if we move forward with the other ones, minus that nomination, and I can read.
Yeah, I just want to make one more comment.
Yeah, sure.
We didn't see the list until this morning, and the minute we saw the list, Ridwana looked at it and said, oh, and that's how it came out. But if you have the other
Yeah, I have
23 names, it's the second name, I believe.
Yeah, so
If we eliminate that name.
Just to clarify, what we're going to do here is, actually, I guess this would be a 10.
yeah, I can,
This would be a 10F to approve the CERT volunteers, and you're going to read the list of names.
Yeah, or I can,
Okay, okay, okay. Oh, okay, okay.
Councilman Ring, if you'd like to make a motion to amend the agenda for 10, to add a 10F.
Yep.
And then the mayor, if he wants to, whoever.
I'm going to make a motion to amend the agenda to add Resolution 10F to
Would be
approve the
10G.
CERT list volunteers to include the names that the mayor will now read.
I think it would be 10G. 10E is OEM. 10F is the environmental.
Oh,
Middlebrook is 10F.
no, 10. We're on
10.
10.
Right, we're going backwards. 10,
Right.
10F is going to be the
Oh,
the Middlebrook.
You see,
I'm sorry, not 10.
go right here.
My bad.
No, I think you're right.
No,
right there?
this would be, this, yeah.
10F, I think you.
Mayor's appointments with advice and
You're right.
consent.
You're right.
Right?
Yeah.
Everyone agrees on this, Mayor?
I don't know which number it is. You know,
10F.
whatever.
You got it right the first time, Council.
Yeah.
Yeah, so just the
Here,
list,
there's
I'm
an
gonna,
actual resolution.
I'll butcher all the names. Council President, I
You don't
should
have
make.
to. We have the
Okay,
list.
you have the list. All right, that's
We
fine.
have a resolution. Don't have to read the names. So a motion to amend the agenda and add Resolution 10F approving CERT volunteers as circulated.
And I think Grace is going to read the names, right? Who is? Who is? Who wants to
Or we're
read-
going to circulate the names.
Yeah.
Circulate the names.
Do you have another one?
Yes.
Right, so just for the record is clear, these names should all be familiar. These names are all familiar to Ridvana, Andrew, and I because we looked at them today. And these names are probably familiar to Councilman Ring and Councilman Kirsch because they are all appointments from, people that were appointed last year and perhaps in other years as well.
I've been, I've
With
helped
the
them
exception of
distribute
one.
water at emergencies. I know most of these people, yes.
Okay, all right.
Just the briefest of additional discussion, though. So for the individual whose name has been removed, I guess the next action is to go to the chief of police for his point of view of whether or not the comments either keep the person in the mix or take that person out of the mix.
Yeah.
Makes sense to me.
If the councilwoman provides whatever information to Mr. Pappas in terms of either directing us to where we can find it or forwarding, whatever it is, get to Mr. Pappas. We will provide that to the chief. His team will do whatever they do with regards to the vetting and the process. We'll get some kind of comment back from the chief. We'll share it with council, and either we will withdraw that nomination if it removes that person from the program, or if the chief and in my review, I guess I still want to move forward with the nomination, and we'll then bring that nomination back, and we can have a more detailed discussion if it warrants it.
All right, well, I will pledge that I will follow whatever the recommendation is from the chief of police.
I appreciate that.
So I think there's a, well.
The motion, we need a second.
I'll second it, and I think somebody has to read the names. I'll read them if somebody wants me to. I may butcher some of them, and I apologize in
I think
advance.
you have a resolution. If you want to, you can do it if you want, whatever Council President.
If we don't need to read the names, we don't, okay, if we don't need to read the
Council
names.
President's discretion.
Okay, then if we don't need to read the names, is there any further discussion? Okay, I guess roll call.
Councilman Bucko,
Aye.
Councilwoman Isla,
Yes.
Councilman Kirsch,
Yes.
Councilman Ring,
With thank you to everyone, yes.
President Geiger.
Yes. Okay, let's see.
If you're here, stand up.
Yes,
It's called.
You have to call on me. I'm not going to jump on you.
oh, you have to,
I do the oath.
you swearing me in as liaisons and all
Whatever
that
you
stuff?
wanna do.
Oh, okay, yes.
So I would just say that, I would say that if you received a appointment tonight, please stand up. I will swear you in now. Just, you can stay in your seats. You just can stand up in your seats. So you don't have to move out of your seats. So just repeat after me. I state your name.
I, Joan Geiger,
Little enthusiasm, guys. Come on. Do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support
that I will support
the Constitution of the United States
the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of New Jersey,
and the Constitution of the State of New Jersey,
that I will bear true faith and allegiance
that I will bear true faith and allegiance
to the same
to the same,
and to the governments established
and to the governments established
in the United States
in the United States
and in this state
and in the state
under the authority of the people,
under the authority of the people,
and that I will faithfully, impartially, and justly
and I will faithfully, impartially, and justly
perform all the duties of, and then state the name of your committee.
all the duties of the liaisons I've been appointed to per the agenda
Of the Township of Bridgewater,
of the Township of Bridgewater,
according to the best of my ability.
according to the best of my
help me.
ability.
So help me
So help
God.
me God.
So we'll give it back to Grace. All right, consider yourselves sworn.
You just let everybody.
Oh, okay. So Juliana has all of the oaths for all of you to sign. Juliana, just stand up so not everybody knows you. So if you just would see Juliana, I don't know if you want to go outside and start doing it now or you want to wait till after the meeting's over. I think we're almost done. Yeah, actually, I think we are just about done. So item 14, there are no ordinances. There's no introduction of ordinances. Next one, resolutions. Okay, so this is going to require a little bit of discussion. The first resolution is the 2026 temporary budget current fund in the amount of $20,160,000. Can I have a motion to approve this resolution? Do I need a motion on a resolution?
Yeah.
Okay.
You do a motion, yes, yes.
Okay. Can I have a motion on the resolution?
So moved.
Second? I'll second.
Discussion, please.
Yeah, discussion. Yes, 16A. I think Andrew has a lot of comments. I did speak to Councilman Ring, and I think Andrew spoke to Councilman Kirsch about this, and I know Ridwana and I and Andrew are all relatively familiar with it. So Andrew, if you want to explain to everybody how we got to the number of $20,160,000.
Yes, thank you very much. The state law for temporary budgets allows, until this year, 26.5% of the previous year's budget. That limit has been updated to up to 35% of the previous year's budget. So rather quickly today, we looked over the numbers that the administration provided and came to the proposed $20,160,000 because it will provide enough funding for the fixed yearly costs that are required to be paid upfront. There are a number of items, and I'm sure the administrator or the mayor can elaborate on them. But this also provides sufficient funding for 5 billing cycles of salary and wages for the municipal employees, and that would bring us to the middle of March, which by then the proposed budget draft from the administration is expected to be submitted to the council. The due date is February 27th, according to the State Department of Community Affairs. And we would expect that the administration will be able to meet that.
Yeah, and just very briefly, I know the information provided by our Director of Finance, Ms. Hausman, and our CFO, I think the council has all of this, but this would show that by March 15th, we would be $125,000 under expected budget, and that the current budget also does not include any, if there's overtime for snow, if there's an event that requires overtime from our public works or from our police department, this budget would not allocate not enough money for that. If I think Ms. Franco is probably the preeminent expert on our temporary budgets from last year. And if the council members may remember, we had to have a couple different resolutions. It caused some confusion and some consternation, but because some of our payments they're not evenly spread, so you can't just take the budget and say 12 years divided by 12 and there's the payments. And last year, if you looked at the total temporary budgets that we had done, it wound up being about a 37% total percentage of the budget because of the way the expenses ran. So, our concern with the current proposal is that if, from a budget perspective, if we are completely on time, if everything is moving swimmingly, there's no issues, we have no debates, we have plenty of money falling from the sky, we can't get a budget finalized until the end of March, if not into early April anyway, just based on the timing of the meeting requirements. And so if the council decides to move forward with this proposal, then the council needs to understand that we will absolutely be back at some point between now and March, to make payroll by March 15th, we would have to have a temporary budget in place, before that. So based on the current meeting schedule, it could be as early as the 19th of February. I don't know the process on the 5th in terms of timing of getting a new budget approved on the 5th for purpose of the 15th payroll. And if there's any expenditures that aren't anticipated, then that cycle could be moved up. We could be back in a month if there's an issue with regard to, like you said, emergencies, overtime, that kind of thing. So that's our concern. Just simply, the council needs to be very, very aware that, there's not much room for error if we intend to pay employees on the 15th. And I understand the council's desire to make sure that the administration is, we are meeting the expected timeline on the budget. It is our intention to do that. I guess the flip side of that is, unless you're telling us, the public and the employees, that if we don't make it, you're going to shut down government on March 15th, I'm not exactly sure what the shortening the temporary budget does on, moving the budget process along. But most importantly, it's making sure the council knows that if this is no room for error with regard to expenditures and costs over the next 6 cycles.
What's the number you're looking for?
Well, we were originally looking for, I'm sorry. No. Councilman Ring was asking what we had originally proposed, which was 35%. And it was scenario 2. A temporary budget of $21,736,006.64.
In round numbers, we're talking a difference of a little over 1.5 or 1.6 million.
Yeah.
I guess my other question is, I heard the date of February 27th, but it's my understanding that some of the dates for budgets got pushed this year because of the fact that so many towns across the state struggle with the deadlines. Is that February 27th?
Yeah, that date is still the date.
So it's just the final adoption.
Yeah, they pushed back the final adoption because they knew the towns needed more.
I guess where I'm concerned with this, and I'm trying to understand the rationale, Councilman Bucko mentioned anticipate a budget by February 27th. Once the budget's introduced, it has to sit for 30 days before we can hold a public hearing. So if everything works perfectly, we need to fund this government through the end of March before an actual budget would kick in. I don't understand why, why we would want to end it in the middle of March. We know we have to extend it no matter what. So what's the rationale for not extending it now?
Thank you for that question. And I think the rationale is that the previous year's budget was several months late. And we need to make sure that the process stays on track this year.
So what are you going to do if the process doesn't stay on track?
I think that the administration would need to answer that question.
But
No, what will this
what
council
are
do?
we going to do? What is this council going to do if the budget doesn't stay on track to your expectations? Are we going to shut down the government?
No,
Are we?
well, the federal government didn't seem to have much of a problem being shut down.
I'm not asking
World
about the
didn't
federal
end.
government. I'm asking-
But the answer to your question is we would have to approve another budget. And I'm sure, I think we are going to have to approve another budget no matter what. I don't think there's any scenario under which we won't be having some type of temporary budget.
I guess I just have a few questions because I'd like to understand this. So this $20.16 million will essentially allow us to meet payrolls on the 15th and the 30th of each month through March 15th, as well as other known expenditures with a very limited reserve for anything unexpected through March 15th. Is that correct?
That's correct, yes.
So on March 16th, if action is not taken, or if we're looking out the window and too many snowflakes are falling, we got a real problem on our hands.
Right, we'd have to be back with either the money would run out sooner, or the council would have to either then extend it sooner.
Then let me ask this question. What number would keep this government functioning properly through March 31st?
Got that,
$1,736. Yeah.
$6.64.
Yep.
You know, look, I know the hour is late. We've been through a lot of issues. I don't need to belabor this point, but I think this is really bordering on not abiding by our form of government. We have budget responsibility, and we all take that very, very seriously. But execution of that budget, getting employees paid, getting streetlights on, keeping fire hydrants paid, all the things that are in a budget, those are the responsibility of the administration. That's what the Faulkner Act tells us. So it feels to me like this is a bit micromanaging. It feels a bit uncomfortable. I would prefer to see us fund this government even with a little bit of excess, so that if, heaven forbid, we have larger than expected snowstorms, as long as we can stay within the guideline of the state, I would make a motion that the number $20,160,000 be amended upward to
$21,736,006.64.
And my rationale for that is, I've used the phrase, I certainly hope we're not moving toward the Washingtonization of Bridgewater government. And what I've typically meant about that is some of the vitriol, some of the demonizing, some of the I'm right, you're wrong, I'm wonderful, you're horrible. Unfortunately, we are seeing some of that. I fear that now, even beyond that, we are now going down the pathway of our vendors not knowing if they're going to be paid, our employees not knowing if they're going to be paid. That's an impossible situation to manage through. I think we must, quarterly is a point that people understand. We might run out of money middle of the month, and that I guess means we're going to need to have met some kind of milestone by our March 5th meeting. What happens if it snows that day? We can't have our meeting. It just seems there's far too much uncertainty. So I've made the motion to amend that number so that we have a little bit more comfort here.
And I'll just echo to my comments, and I already seconded it. I think that as the governing body, we owe it to our township, we owe it to our residents to ensure we have sufficient funds to fund our police department, to fund our public works, to go out, salt the roads, plow snow, whatever needs to be done. But I also think we owe it to each and every one of our township employees from both their personal comfort and morale to know that we've got a budget that funds them, that there's not uncertainty. Well, meet this deadline? Do I have to worry about getting paid at the end of March? The men and women of this township, employees and the Teamsters and the PBA and the SOAs and all of them deserve to have that comfort. So.
Well, in all due respect, and I certainly understand your concern and making sure that all of the employees of the township are paid on time is a absolute priority. That amount then runs out at the end of March.
Correct.
Correct.
So it still will require us to come back and revisit a additional appropriation in all likelihood.
Yeah, it absolutely would, especially because the budget's not going to be, ever completed by the end of March. I think the concern, I mean, look, my number one concern is making sure that the council understands that if you go forward with the proposal as is, then we will have to act and there's no room for error. I think that the concern that, Councilman Ring was raising is that, the temporary budget is historically, and in most towns, I think is just, to get the numbers from the CFO, to get the numbers from the finance, and it's pro forma. It's not an allocation of, we don't go through this and say, what's our spending priorities? We get, the finance department says, here's what you need to get yourself through the first quarter, and you get through, and then, you then look at it and say, where are we in the budget process? We need one more month. Do we need, 2 more months, whatever. And it's never been used, certainly in this town, as some sort of weaponization of the temporary budget to say, hey, employees, if there's a problem and the council doesn't like what the mayor's doing, you're not getting paid on, March 30th. And that's what's occurring now
I do not agree with that characterization. I think that is out of line to suggest that. I will ask, and I have not received an answer because I did ask this earlier today. We received a draft of what the temporary budget would be towards the end of December. And towards the end of December, it asked for the 26.25%. The debt service on the draft, and I understand it's a draft, things are subject to change. The debt service for 2026 has gone from $8,070,567 to today's amount in the resolution we have in front of us. It's increased by $87,509.46. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, but generally, bonds have a payment schedule, and you know ahead of time when you take out the debt what that's going to be. I'm just wondering where the discrepancy was.
Yeah, our CFO made a mistake.
Okay.
December.
Okay. Are we sure that the other numbers then?
Yeah, we've gone back
are
and
not
asked them.
similar mistakes?
Yeah, we've gone back and asked them to double check.
These numbers came from our,
I just want to be, this is our former CFO, correct?
Current CFO,
CFO.
Ms. Hausman, is, as of December, the Director of Finance.
Right, but the mistake was
oversees-
made
by the CFO.
by the
Prior.
by the former CFO.
No, not prior
Still
CFO.
current.
Still CFO, but the
Oh, yeah, I threw that.
CFO did the
Not
numbers.
Director
The
of
new
Finance.
numbers have come from our new Director of Finance.
I
Who
understand.
has reviewed the numbers.
Thank you.
Who has reviewed the numbers.
Thank you.
Just from a calendar standpoint, I know Councilman Ring, you were Mr. Calendar in the past with the expectations. Is it accurate? Do I recall it accurately that the starting line, we can't even start until like the middle of February because there's certain actions that have to occur by the county, correct?
So, yeah, we do our annual assessment increases. I forget the term, what's the? When the county levels it across-
Equalization.
Equalization across all towns, because not all towns do reassessments every year. So there's an equalization process. So part of a budget process is obviously your expenses, but it's also your revenue, because we have to have a balanced budget to the penny, revenue versus expenses. We will not know our revenue until it's usually sometime in the first half of February. We can certainly check with Tony on what those dates are, but we don't get that equalization as to assessment adjustments finalized by the county until sometime in the first 2 weeks of February, I believe.
It's also the state, the state numbers. The state gives out state aid that you know how much you're getting in your budget. So there's a couple of different factors that go in to it. I mean, I think everyone understands that the budget is not going to be done by the end of March, and no one, I don't think, up here is suggesting that.
But our best practice is to start with the first quarter.
Yeah, that's what is typically done. Yeah. Last year, as I think Councilman Bucko pointed out, the state, Governor Murphy actually extended, allowed for greater increases in the temporary budget and a longer period of time because so many towns nobody was hitting the deadlines because of the process. So again, and I mean, everyone knows these issues at this point. I'm not trying to belabor it. Our position is that we should follow the advice of our finance staff, which is to fund the township through the end of March at the amount calculated by the CFO. CFO has currently calculated that as of March 15th, we will be $127,000 short of what we need to pay the bills as of March 15th. So the council has all the information that we have, and the council can decide how you want to go.
Well, I've made the amendment to accept the number that will keep this government successfully running until March 31st.
And I've already seconded it.
Any further comment?
I would just ask if we can get a commitment from the administration to have a budget in a draft form, whatever it might be, by that February 27th date.
Yeah.
Okay, and I will just say this, given that commitment, I would be willing to support the higher, the budget that's been proposed, the amendment that's been proposed.
And we did talk to Sarah today, so appreciate her, because understanding what those risks are, those overruns, those shortfalls are very important. As you heard in December, there were some numbers, discrepancies. Last year, apparently, healthcare plans, a lot of things were miscalculated. They were added almost weekly, I think. They had to come back and ask for more money. We definitely don't want to be burdensome, but we want to make sure that just because we have to wait until February 27th, we're not ignoring those risks, overruns, and shortfalls. That should be happening in real time every day, making sure we don't miss anything until we can get that draft budget in. So, just making sure, we're a little bit more hands-on and in real time, not just waiting for something to come out.
And not to set the bar and expectations too high. If I can do it sooner, I'll do it sooner. I don't want to now, get everyone's hopes up too much, but I'd like to get the budget. I don't want to see this budget process, go out into, the late spring or early summer, and I don't want to do that.
I would not want to see that either, and that's really the concern that I have is that we ensure that is as close to the statutory date as possible. Again, my number one priority is to make sure that the township continues to run and everyone gets paid on time. I don't think anyone disagrees. The question is just, at what point are we going to need to revisit the temporary appropriation? And from all the information that we've heard today, even at the 35% number, that still happens by the end of March.
Right. That's the estimate from the CFO.
Right.
And just for clarity, we are now at what was termed and distributed as scenario 2.
Correct.
So the numbers are, the temporary budget, correct me if I'm wrong, would now be $21,736,006.64.
That's what I said.
21,736,006.64.
Right. Michael, that's $1,736,006.64.
Michael, if you had it, Michael, if you had it, why'd you ask me to
If I may play mediator for a minute, we're really arguing over 2 weeks here. I personally don't think it makes that much of a difference.
Well, Council President, the one thing to bear in mind, it's not 2 weeks. It's also if the scenario 2 number says that we'd get through March and also still have 600,000, meaning if there's a snow event,
I understand.
we're not. So it's
No,
the
I
2
understand what
weeks
you're saying.
plus the buffer.
Yeah, I understand what you're saying.
If expenditures run lower than expected, theoretically that could take us through April 15th. If
Frankly, I think we're all making a big deal out of nothing, because I think at the end of the day, we are going to have to approve another temporary budget. And whether we approve that temporary budget on March 5th or 6th or 7th or March 31st or April 2nd or April 3rd, I don't think it's going to, the sky is going to fall. So at this point, unless there's any further comments, I'm going to ask for a roll call and
This is a roll call to go to the 21 million number.
correct.
Councilman Baco?
Aye.
Councilwoman Isla?
Yes.
Councilman Kirsch?
Yes.
Councilman Ring?
Yes.
President Geiger?
Yes.
Thank you, Council.
The next one should be a lot less controversial, so if anybody's watching at home, now might, and you're getting tired or you're getting bored, I can assure you that the fireworks are over for the night, or I hope so anyway.
You just jinxed us, Council President. Yeah. You still have 2 more resolutions left.
So, B, 2026, the temporary budget sewer utility in the amount of $4,957,755.83.
So moved.
Second. Is there any discussion?
Yeah, just wanted to mention, Andrew also caught this one, the numbers we received for the debt service back in December. There was, I think, a miscalculation, so it has increased. So let's just, learn from those mistakes and make sure in the future we don't create those little errors. But thank you, Andrew, for catching that as well.
I guess I just would like to also point out that there was I assume a similar miscalculation of in the amount of about $95,000. It was, significant. It was 19% of the stated debt service number on the initial draft. Again, draft. I understand things change. You check the numbers, and they, don't number all the way. But it's. I'll just say I am pleased to see that you have recognized the need for new financial leadership at the end of last year.
So can we have a roll call on
The
resolution?
only other discussion is upon doing this, people can continue to do their laundry and flush their toilets.
Yes.
Okay.
Councilman Bako,
Aye.
Councilwoman Isla,
Yes.
Councilman Kirsch,
Yes.
Councilman Ring,
Yes.
President Geiger.
Yes. All right, resolution number C, acknowledging the Township Council's review of salaries for the Board of Fire Commissioners of Fire District Number 1, Number 2, Number 3, and Number 4 for the year of 2026. And just so the public is aware, we really don't have an option here. If you look at the wording carefully, we're just acknowledging that we've actually looked at the numbers. And I can tell you that I have looked at the numbers, and I think I can say with confidence that every other council person up here has looked at these numbers. So I'm going to make a motion to approve Resolution 16C. Do I have a second?
I'll second it, and just so the public understands, this is a state requirement that we have to review the numbers. It is not an approval of the numbers. We are merely, and this is to, every February, there are fire district elections throughout New Jersey. It is held on, I think, the second or third Saturday of the month, and you have the opportunity to go out and vote for who your fire commissioners are. And this resolution is to approve what those commissioners receive as a pay or stipend for their service on an annual basis. And again, we scratch our head why we have to do this, but the state says we have to review them.
Thank you. That was a better explanation than mine, so I appreciate that.
And just an additional comment that these fire districts are separate taxing authorities. It's a very, very small amount, but certainly critical. It's a service that hopefully nobody wants to take advantage of, but is important that it's available.
And by no means does it mean that we have any oversight or authority over the fire districts.
Each district is
Their own separate government entity.
self-organizing, so, the leadership structure of them is slightly different.
Correct.
And just from an audit perspective, to keep everything running nicely, they have submitted all financial documentation, Mr. Pappas, right?
They don't have to submit it.
No, they
only
don't.
submit
And they,
this.
yeah, they submit this. They have their own audit function, and they're separately governed.
And when you actually vote in February to elect a commissioner, the residents vote on the fire district budget. They are a completely separate government entity. In our grand scheme of things, it's no different than the school board.
Can we have a roll call?
Councilman Bako,
Aye.
Councilwoman Isla,
Yes.
Councilman Kirsch,
Yes.
Councilman Ring,
Yes.
President Geiger.
Yes. All right, Resolution 16D, authorizing dispersal of an additional $7,254.73 from the Affordable Housing Trust Fund for renovations and repairs for one low and moderate income property through the Bridgewater Housing Rehabilitation Program. And again, just by way of a little bit of explanation, this is a fairly common resolution. You know, as repairs and renovations are needed, we have to approve them from the Affordable Housing Trust Fund. Can I have a motion to approve?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
Any discussion? Or roll call?
Councilman Bucko,
Aye.
Councilwoman Eisler,
Yes.
Councilman Kirsch,
Yes.
Councilman Ring,
Yes.
President Geiger.
Yes. Number 17, I think we've had a lot of discussion, so I don't know that we need to have any more. But I did add this to the agenda, and you will see it in all the future agendas. There was originally going to add new business and old business, and Mr. Corzini pointed out that it might be a whole lot less confusing to just add discussion. Then we don't have to worry about whether it's new or whether it's old. But does anyone have any further discussion?
I actually do have something, and this piggybacks on the Human Trafficking Awareness Proclamation from a couple hours ago. Is there any consideration to through health code ordinances require public bathrooms in Bridgewater to post information about if you're a victim of, or you know a victim of human trafficking, you know, here's how you can confidentially seek help. I've noticed this in restrooms in other locations, and you know, considering the importance of that, you know, maybe it's something we should consider for requiring public bathrooms in Bridgewater.
Yeah, I think part of what we've been trying to work with the chief on in terms of, you know, a public awareness campaign, and the some of the prosecutors' offices have resources, things like that. Certainly support encouraging it. I don't know whether we can require it, you know, through the health codes to mandate it. I don't know if I would support mandating it, but definitely, you know, encouraging. And we're going to come up with some ideas in terms of public awareness. And I know, yeah, to your point, a lot of bathrooms, especially in women's bathrooms, will have kind of the how do you get help if you need it, type of thing. So we'll keep looking at those ideas.
And on this subject, it bears noting that the ordinance was passed in December on a 3-to-1 vote of the previous council. Would have been a 4-to-1 vote had Mr. Ring been in town that night. But yeah, it was passed. It's certainly a great accomplishment, not only for those of us involved in it, but you know, for those really on behalf of the full community.
Mr. Bucko, I think in answer to your question, some of that ties into our health department has to operate according to the state health code, both in restaurants and other situations. So I can't say for sure, but I think it's something for the health advisory board to, you know, they could probably give a better answer than any of us.
Certainly, as you probably know, you know, bathrooms in establishments generally are required to have employees must wash their hands.
Yes. Yep. Yeah. Well, but that's not a township requirement. That's a state requirement.
Yes.
And you know, and I don't want to get too far into the discussion on human trafficking. I work full time in the hospitality industry. It's very prevalent, and most. You know, first of all, the fact that it's January, it's very interesting that with World Cup coming up in New Jersey this summer, in 3 of our neighboring towns, we will have teams staying, but events like World Cup, unfortunately, are they're a big, the human traffickers actually will move people from parts of the country to where big events are taking place because of, unfortunately, I hate to say this, supply and demand.
Exactly,
And we're going to hear a lot more about it in the next several months. Just to give you an idea to that point, a couple of years ago, there was a targeted operation during the NCAA Final Four game for human trafficking, and they rescued 28 people that year, including one minor who were being trafficked.
Yeah, are we, and this is I guess, a question for the mayor and Mr. Pappas, are we prepared to handle such a influx of potential due to that?
Yeah, and it's not just about human trafficking concerns. I mean, there's going to be, when we start getting to the World Cup games, the whole area is expecting a big influx of people, whether it's not just the teams, but the staff that goes with the teams, and then of course the tourists that come by, and that
Fan base is the big one.
And there's a lot of opportunities with that. I mean, we hope that our hotels will be filled. There'll be lots of people going to the Patriots games as well as but it also means there's a larger police presence, and that's already been starting to be coordinated with all the different law enforcement entities. There's a lot of PR groups to get information out to us to be able to.
I think that's a headache that belongs to the gentleman way in the back of the room.
Let's put it this way, if you have friends and family coming this summer, plan their trips around World Cup, because hotels probably in this area will be particularly heavy. And the World Cup the final match for the World Championship is at MetLife Stadium.
Yeah.
And it's on July 19, my birthday, so.
There you go.
After that, we can celebrate.
Listen, my daughter wants to know, she says that there could be Ronaldo versus Messi in Kansas City on July something. If I hit the lottery, I'll be there.
Huh?
Hasn't he
Okay.
retired yet?
Motion to adjourn?
No, I lost my place. Yes, you have a motion to
I just
adjourn,
made it.
second?
Second.
Aye.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.